His laughter of beauty breaks out in green trees. So I don't see really the trees. What I see, I hear his laughter in the trees. I see him in the trees. You see. A laughter of beauty breaks out in green trees. His moments of beauty triumph in a flower. Really, when a flower opens out, it's a moment of beauty, absolute beauty, you see. And that's a triumph, in spite of all that. His moments of beauty triumph in a flower. The blue sea is a chant, the rivulet's wandering voice of murmurs falling from the eternal harp. So the eternal harp, I don't know how many strings that harp has, but each string is producing its own beautiful note. And these are the few notes of flower, of chant, of river voice and all that thing you see. Have you seen the laser harp?
Laser what?
Laser harp.
Laser harp?
Harp. No.
Harp or laser?
Laser, yeah. See, you have got beams of light, laser beams. And you have something like a torch spot, and you strike the string or that laser at different places, and it produces different sounds. Yes, fantastic, absolutely. Fantastic. You got it. You explain.
That's a fantasy.
You not seen?
It's a fantasy.
You can imagine. See, you imagine a string or a beam of light, and you strike it, that string. Strike with what? With a torch. Ding, 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 ding. So, if you got different, you can have as many laser beams as you like, of different colors, different frequencies, different intensities, and then you strike at different places. You got a richness of music there, you see. Our murmurs falling from the eternal harp. So all these colors are there of the harp. So it's not a physical instrument, it's not a string. It's a beam of light itself. So you strike at different places, you see. Different notes are produced. This world is God fulfilled in outwardness. That is the affirmation for which Savitri has come. That is the entire purpose. Now this alone, this can be said alone by the divine Savitri. It is not the Savitri who is walking behind Yama, who is talking about that. It is the voice, the divine Savitri, speaking through her. This world is God fulfilled in outwardness. God has to be fulfilled. His ways challenge our reason and our sense by blind brute movements of an ignorant fool, by means which light, a small, obscure, or big, a greatness founded upon little things. He has built a world in the unknowing void. This is really a great miracle. There was nothing. How this has happened? You are talking of from a seed the tree has come. But that is only a part of the total miracle. How did this seed at all come from the void? He has built a world, so that is how it has sprung up. That was total inconscience, total void. Out of it, a thinking creature has come. He is waiting for the arrival of the demigod. He is waiting for higher possibilities to open out for himself. How? He has built a world in the unknowing void. He, of course, stands for God. His way is God. Now, Savitri is very careful because it is the divine Savitri who is speaking, of course. She says here, he has built a world in the unknowing void. Does it mean that there is also a knowing void?
No, the unknowing void doesn't know this is void.
Yeah, but then what is a knowing void?
That doesn't exist.
It has to exist.
No,
The phrase would imply that
no.
if there is an unknowing void, it also, compels me to think, could there be a knowing void?
No, the unknowing void is the void which is empty of knowledge.
Yeah, but then, okay, that is, I grant that. But then, is there also a knowing void?
But that will come later when it becomes conscious.
Is there also a knowing void? Out of this unknowing void has come. Okay, I grant you. But then what will come out of the knowing void?
If it's a knowing void, it's not a void anymore. It cannot exist. It's either
No, it has to be there. Knowing void has to be.
knowing void, then it is already not a void anymore.
No, it's a void.
No, I don't know.
She is talking of the void. It implies, the phrase implies that there are two types of void. One is a knowing void, the other one is an unknowing void. So she is saying, all right, out of the unknowing void, this has happened. She has read, Savitri has read the opening page of Savitri very carefully. In the very opening page, we have got two nothingnesses. The first and the last nothingness. The first and the last nothingness. Now, this unknowing void would correspond to the last nothingness.
Even when it was created, it still knows a little bit of
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Oh, like that.
Yeah.
But that's
And the first nothingness, the first knowing void, the absolute, the supreme, he knows everything for himself, but he has held back everything. Held back everything, therefore it's a void.
Yeah, why not?
Therefore it's a void. It has not expressed its potentialities. Here there are no potentialities. They have to be seated in the knowing void. So you can see the remarkable kind of a consistency, logical coherence which is present throughout Savitri. The phrase unknowing is not just a decorative phrase. It is not phrase. It implies the whole process completely. A great is founded upon little thing. He has built the world in the unknowing world. Really, out of inconscience, below that inconscience is that unknowing void, this whole thing has come up. How it has come up? Because there is a knowing void. The knowing void has done all that thing. We can say rather that it is the knowing void which has created the unknowing void for a purpose. His forms he has masked from infinitesimal dust. So now how he has built, she is describing his build. His forms he has masked from infinitesimal dust. His marvels are built from insignificant things. Now this is an answer he has built from the unknowing void. This is an answer to what Death was describing to Savitri. He said, I curved empty ether, vacant ether into space. Vacant ether into space. This is what he was talking, no? I curved vacant ether. Vacant ether, same thing. She is saying, no, it is the unknowing void. Unknowing void, in a sense, therefore, stand for the vacant ether. And that he described the entire death, described the entire Sankhya process of material creation. Akash, Vayu, Tejas, Apas, Prithvi. That is how she is describing. Look, here it is. Mass from the infinitesimal dust. His marvels are built from insignificant things. If mind is crippled, life untaught and crude, his brutal mass are there and evil acts. They are incidents of his vast and varied plot. Yes, our mind is not a perfect mind. Our life is a crude life. We are wearing brutal mask and all that thing. If this is what at the moment, the state of affairs is this at the moment, they are incident, they are not the end. They are there at the moment only. They are incidents of his vast and varied plot, his great and dangerous dramas, needed steps. They are required. You have to be foolish. You have to be stupid so that you grow wise and clever and all that. They are required steps, needed steps. They are incidents of his vast and varied plot, his great and dangerous dramas, needed steps. He makes with these and all his passion play, a play, and yet no play, with a deep scheme of a transcendent wisdom, finding ways to meet a Lord in the shadow and the night. So she is now sweepingly making that thing. Yes, man is foolish, man is absurd, man is small incident, etc., etc. But they are steps. They are needed steps at the moment. And then she says, this is a drama. Devised by whom? By transcendent wisdom. All this thing is out of the unknowing void, things are happening because of this transcendent wisdom. Prajna, para-prajna, the divine knowledge. For what purpose? She has done all that thing. To meet her Lord. Her stands for wisdom. To meet her Lord. Where? She wants to meet her Lord where? In the shadow and the night. So she has devised all these things, the drama, she has created that thing. There is a divine knowledge behind this whole working. Transcendent wisdom, finding ways to meet her Lord in the shadow and the night. Yes, night is there, and I want to meet my Lord there. How do I do that? I create first a crippled mind and a brutal, untaught life and all that kind of a thing as the first step. And makes with these all his passion play, and yet no play, but the deep scheme of a transcendent wisdom, finding ways to meet her Lord in the shadow and the night. Above her is a vigil of the stars. So she is working here tonight from above. Who is seeing? Who is overlooking? The stars. Vigil of the stars. They are watching her working. Stars. Why? Because night. The stars are there. They are watching the force which is working here in the night. To meet her Lord in the shadow in the night, above her is a vigil of the star, watched by a solitary infinitude. She embodies in dumb matter the divine. In simple minds and lives the absolute. So she embodies the divine in matter, and her work is watched by the stars in the night.